What's up, everybody? It's Chicago Talk Show host. Welcome to my channel. And today I'd like to talk to you about why on Tuesday getting fired from my last job was a good thing for me. Before we begin, I'd like to give a shout out to all my 79 subscribers out there. Thank you so much for subscribing, as my goal is to get to 100 subscribers, and I'm going to continue to send a positive and productive message out there. That being said, let's get it. At the beginning, and for some time, that positivity and that productivity that I brought to that workplace was awesome. It was well received. I quickly established a name for myself there. And I also got to see how there were many previous disgruntled employees prior to my time there. I got this sense that I would learn that a lot of people weren't happy. A lot of people were dissatisfied with management. It was concerning to hear that when I had first started. I mean, nobody ever wants to ever hear when they start a new job that other people have cried in front of management because of the way management spoke to them and the conversations that were being had. And I heard that, and it was an unsettling feeling. So my strategy back then when I heard this news, this disconcerting news from multiple people, I decided to still make the best of it. That despite this negativity that was previously there, that was in the past. And what I wanted to do there was to promote more positivity so everybody can win. And because the work was hard, and it was complicated oftentimes, it was stressful, and it was draining to a lot of people. But I wouldn't accept that. I wouldn't accept that was the end all be all. There has always been a deep drive within me to still push for positivity anyway. So it's not just a hell and everybody hates being there. That's the worst thing that you would want. Why would you want to work for a place where everybody absolutely is miserable and hates it? Apparently the industry itself is known for being that way. I couldn't believe it. So I kept working hard, I kept being positive and pushing that positive message and being productive. It was great to see that at the time somebody saw that and appreciated that within me, and of course rewarded me accordingly for such. And that also further inspired me to continue to work just as hard and to continue to produce and to continue to be passionate about the work that I was doing there. For a while, it was really great. I learned a ton of things about what to do, what not to do, and it's always going to stay with me now. And I believe this experience has made me stronger. And then things changed. At some point, management decided to bring a dog into the workplace, and I've always suspected that management brought a dog into the workplace because of the inherent stress associated with the work. We've all heard this expression that heavy is the head that wears the crown. A key detail of all of the success that we've had that first year when I was there had to do with that communication, that positive, constructive communication that we had at first. We were able to identify things that were working and build upon them, and we were able to identify things that were not working and improve and seek ways to improve them. And I was a big part of that, and I loved it. I've seen and I've heard of stories of places where you're able to bring your dog at work, and it's a thing, and people have fun with it. I get it. Personally, in my experiences, that's not for me. I was concerned that it was going to be a distraction, and oftentimes it ended up being a distraction actually. And it seemed counterintuitive to the message that we were trying to build on at the time. It seemed to actively undermine that message. It seemed like management decided to bring this dog into the workplace as a means to have a therapeutic presence there to help relieve some of the stress involved with running the business and operating things. And I get that, but at the same time, what ended up happening, whether it was conscious or not, was this closing of communication and limiting of the communication. It was having this dog that wasn't trained at work, that would bark at people loudly, that would growl at people, and I'm talking employees, the guy, the UPS guy, the FedEx guy, being a distraction during workplace meetings and presentations. Other people would talk, but if the dog was doing something, everybody's attention was on the dog and not the speaker, and the speaker usually had something important to say about work. What's ironic is I believe that the dog maybe was some sort of this stress reliever, but ironically, it ended up being a stress producer by increasing anxiety. Increasing anxiety from management having to tame the dog, try to train it inconsistently at work, and that took months. You know, for months, it would, this kind of untrained behavior, having the dog around people when they're eating food, constantly getting barked at, it went on for months. There was no consideration for workers in that regard. For me, I tried to be welcoming to the whole thing, but it did become awkward, and it did become a source of chronic anxiety for me because things that I was seeing, despite my efforts to try to work with it and embrace it, but it was very difficult, and there was a change, and things weren't the same ever since. It got to the point where, as an employee, I ended up being in this awkward situation where the dog would be doing something annoying, and I'd have to tell it to no. And it's an awkward thing because it's management's dog. I didn't want to do that. Never intended to come to a workplace and try to discipline a management figure's dog. You know, sometimes they would be like, you know, just hit the dog or just tap the dog when it does that, just to get him out of your way. And I'm thinking to myself, or just not bring the dog to the workplace. Can we talk about that? But that was very difficult. It ended up being this sensitive and awkward thing. And I think that ended up being an actual detriment to the professional relationship I had with management, because they somehow, for all intents and purposes, they didn't like that I didn't like the dog. And then I think a lot of that energy, which is terrible to say, they ended up not liking me because I didn't like the dog. I hope that's not it, but I got a suspicion that that was part of the reason why I got fired. And that's probably why this firing is a very positive thing. Because I'm at a point in my life where I can spend time developing videos like these, building my content, building my brand, working on myself, and learning from this experience. You know, it has to do with things like respect and communication style. Do you really want to work for somebody who puts you down in front of other people? Do you want to work with people who are abrasive, bullying, and intimidating to you as an employee? I don't think so. Life's too short. Life is too short, and you don't have to put up with that. I believe you can empower yourself to find something better and not have to settle for that kind of hell.
Because that is hell.
For people who become yes men towards that idea and submit just so they can keep getting a paycheck and keep their head low, so, you know, the management doesn't get mad at them, or, you know, they're afraid of conflict. I think that's gonna burn people out because of all that effort that you're doing, instead of just being yourself and setting the standard you want to set for yourself and other people. Everyone deserves respect. You deserve it, I deserve it, so get it. And if you don't get that respect at your workplace, maybe you need to move on. Don't be afraid of it, because if you have a proven work ethic and you speak truthfully about your work and you put in the work, how can you lose? So don't give up. You know, if something like this happens to you, it's not the end. Pick yourself up, believe in yourself, improve yourself, get the education you need. Definitely learn from the experience, so that way you can capitalize and take advantage for the next opportunity that comes your way. You're gonna have to look for it, just like I am. I'm gonna look for that opportunity because I know it's out there and I do wanna find it. So for all my people out there that have been fired recently, I wanna say this: it's not over, it's just getting started. Get back on your horse, keep working, keep doing what you need to do, stick with your plan and execute, and don't lose hope. You can do it, you can find it. I'd also like to hear your stories. Tell me your story about when you were fired and what your experience was like. What did you do to keep moving forward? Those of you that did get fired and are struggling with moving forward, maybe you need to hear this kind of message. You can do it. In the world of anxiety, in the world of being afraid, don't be. Take on the challenge, embrace it. It's gonna be difficult, but you're gonna come out stronger for it. All right, everybody, so thanks so much for watching. We're gonna keep on keeping on. Stay tuned, because I'm gonna be hitting you back with another book review real soon. I'll give you a little sneak peek. Let me see where it is. Ho ho ho, so I found it. Here we go. So yeah, I'm almost done with it, and so be on the lookout. So be on the lookout for that book review coming real soon, as well as another fun video that's also coming soon. From your boy, Chicago talk show host.